Welcome back to the Civitech Studio. We are Guerrilla Press. I'm Nick Hausman.
I'm EJ Cameron.
And we are here today to talk all about housing.
Yay!
Woo! Housing! 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 Housing!
Housing from Hausman.
Hausman. Oh, that's right. It's the Hausman Housing Hour.
You're right there.
Triple H. Come on. It's time to play the game. So we have a lot to get to here today. Donald Trump broke some news just this morning as we're recording this here today about the big housing bill that is apparently not going to go to his desk as of the time of this recording. But if you like what we're doing here, you like independent media, you like Chicago-based, pro-democracy, progressive, independent media, you want to support Guerrilla Press, please go give us a like and a follow on YouTube, the podcast platform of your choosing, or any of our socials. All that stuff helps keep us alive and pump the numbers so that we can money. All right. So anyway, let's get to it here. So yesterday, we'll start with the good news.
Yeah.
We got a 6-7 kind of good, bad, back and forth here, right?
A 6-7? Yeah. That's how the kids are using it.
I'm trying to kill that phrase, and as a 41-year-old man, the more I say it, the less cool it becomes.
It just officially died.
It's dead now.
Yeah. My niece and nephew were like, we don't say that. You're good. I was like, oh.
See, now it's about 7, 8, 9. Am I right? Am I right? That's why 8 fears 7, because 9 fears 7. Whatever. So
why is 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9.
6, 7. All right. So yesterday, on the good news, the House passed the 21st Century Road to Housing Act in a 358-32 vote after the Senate approved the measure 85-5 a day earlier. Frances Torres, Housing and Infrastructure Director at the Bipartisan Policy Center, told Time ahead of the bill's House passage, "This bill is the most serious that Congress has gotten about housing reforms in a generation." And look, after Mamdani swept New York City, did it again last night,
Democratic Socialist, man.
Last night was a big night for them in New York, and it is 100% bolstered by this affordability argument, with housing being like central to that.
Yeah. So good job. Let's pack it up. That's it, right?
That's it.
Everybody went to bed, and we felt good about that, and we were happy.
Everybody, both sides, Democrats, Republicans, coming together, hugging, kissing, caressing each other's hair, building homes.
The few strands that their old asses have.
Mitch McConnell on his deathbed, with a thumbs up. For real, thinking about you, Mitch. And so, stop. Please knock that out of his mouth. And so, anyway, you get all these people together, moving a million miles an hour today. You get all these people together who traditionally hate each other, and they say, you know what? It is undeniable, this affordability issue in the United States. People craving affordable housing. We're going to do this one together. So they all get together. They pass this housing bill. It goes to Donald Trump's desk today. They have chairs set up. They have a stage set up. C-SPAN.
Yeah, he likes signing shit.
Oh, C-SPAN has blocked out the schedule. They're like, this is our day, right?
Yeah.
And on that, Donald Trump, he goes over to his social media, and he truths out the following about an hour ago. He says, today's housing. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. You read it. You're going to read this.
Oh,
yes.
Today's housing news conference and signing is hereby canceled until such time as we pass the desperately needed Save America Act, which is considered to be a national emergency. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President DJT. That's me. Greatest president ever.
Wow. Bravo. For those that don't know, the Save America Act, the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, is a federal elections bill championed by Republicans and Trump, and at its core, it aims to prevent non-citizens from voting by requiring voters to provide documentary proof of U.S. citizenship, such as a passport or birth certificate to register and a photo ID to cast a ballot. Now, here's what's inherently kind of messed up about that, because on the surface, I think people would say, I really like the idea of ensuring citizens are voting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, we yes, and it's funny coming from him because people feel like he's done some underhanded stuff with Elon Musk with voting and fucking with it, tipping the scales a little bit.
Sure.
So now for him to go, and now everybody bring your birth certificate, motherfucker. I ain't seen my birth certificate in decades.
Well, and it's not necessarily the birth certificate, yes, is part of it, but the passports and the driver's license, like up-to-date passports and driver's license, it's really hard to think of those as a luxury as an American, right? Like the idea that you have the money and the wherewithal to go to a place to buy this ID, to be near a facility where you can update this stuff and have the money to do it. That's unfortunately not possible for every citizen of the United States of America.
Yeah.
Which is why you have things like mail with your address and your name on it that you could pair with like a student ID or your birth certificate, things that are much more readily available.
Yeah, they'll even mail you your voter registration card. Like, that's all I take. And I'm like, this is me.
Yeah.
And they go, cool.
Great.
Keep it moving.
And so that's the thing is like they're trying it seems kind of innocuous to say, and again, for people that it's just, I always have an up-to-date passport. I always have an up-to-date driver's license. It's not so easy for every American to do that.
Yeah.
Right? And people get busy. You've got kids. You're working 60 hours a week.
The DMV is what, like a 9 to 5 if you want to go get your license and shit like that. And if you work a 9 to 5, when do you go?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so these kinds of barriers that are being developed early now to just make it harder for people to get the ability to cast the vote that they are constitutionally entitled to.
Like, it could be made way simpler, and it's just they keep putting these like little fucking hurdles up and distractions, and it's like, man, okay, cool, you want to pass that, which hasn't been popular, nobody's really pushing for it, but you have a chance here with the fucking Housing Act to make something that people like.
Yeah, and there's, again, just to reiterate, there's so few credible examples of voter fraud in America. This is a made-up thing by Donald Trump and Republicans.
Yeah. He's been shaking down Georgia ever since 2020. He was like, there has to be some old votes, right?
Yeah.
Please, tell me. They're like, we don't have it. He was like, keep looking.
Poor old Brad Raffensperger, man. Yeah. That guy doesn't deserve the bludgeoning he's received by these mobsters.
He's like, I'm looking. I can't find it.
So one of the bill's co-authors, Elizabeth Warren, we love Big Liz. We love Big Liz. She is the hand that is hand the rock to cradle. That's not the metaphor I'm looking for
might
right
not
now.
Be the one.
No, I think that means she murdered a baby. I don't think that's what I wanted to say. She is the steady hand at the wheel, I think is the phrase I was looking for there. Big Liz, she had to say, he could be over here trying to claim a victory lap, and instead he's saying no, he doesn't want anything to do with it. The New York Times caught up with Seamus Roller, the chief executive of the National Housing Law Project. And I love this anecdote. He was just waking up at his home in San Francisco when he heard that Trump had canceled the signing ceremony. He says lots of people were starting to celebrate yesterday, but I think the way this went down really shows the president's contempt for Congress and for the time that they put into it. And on that note, Ted Lieu, the House Democratic vice chair, he said at a press conference this morning, all of a sudden, Donald Trump decides he's not coming to sign the bill. Why is that? Did he wake up on the wrong side of the bed? And though Trump is not signing the House bill today, it still can become law without his signature. If Congress is in session, the legislation can generally become law within 10 days after a bill is enrolled and presented to the president. But, of course, as we've learned from Trump, he's saying, I don't want this bill to pass until the SAVE Act is passed, leaving this kind of window here where he's going to be able to pressure lawmakers. Maybe he gets another vote. Maybe he just says, we need to institute some, I hate to say martial law, but some kind of federal muscly military arm to get things under control because they're going so nutty here right now.
I'm sure. And as we already know, ICE ramping up. There was some talks that he wanted ICE to be at the polling stations to be security there. And it's like, ugh. And that's the fuck part. The fuck part is when I saw the news last night, I was like, he's going to do something to fuck with this.
Yeah.
He's going to get in the way of this and fuck it up. And here we are.
It is more important for Donald Trump to continue to hold power than for Americans to have housing. That's what this comes down to.
Well, yeah, and he's always been a monster when it's come to housing. I mean, look up how he was in the 80s, and like he wouldn't provide housing to anybody like black or Latino. He was kicking people out.
Dude,
and it's like, yeah, you've always been a piece of shit.
Native Americans took his ass to court and won over his practices of discrimination. And it's not. I mean, it is kind of tied into this, but there was this back and forth with Elon Musk over the weekend. I forget. I think it was. I don't know if it was Jonathan Karl, but some other major reporter. but that had said that Elon Musk was responsible. No, it wasn't a reporter. It was a congressman. I think it was Ro Khanna he was talking to. Ro Khanna had said that Donald Trump or that Elon Musk with the USAID cuts had killed like 45 million people. When Doge cut funding to USAID.
Yeah.
Elon Musk said that's a lie. I'm going to sue you about this, which I'm sure he's not going to do for what it's worth, because then you have to actually get into the nitty-gritty of how many people actually have died because of those USAID
You got to
cuts.
show your work.
And I read the most depressing blue sky thread this morning from a woman who works in aid for countries that are poorly funded, and immediately in the year or so since we've seen these Doge cuts to USAID, conservatively, about 14.5 million people have died because of lack of access to medicine, proper care, and unfortunately, in the worst of situations, an overwhelming amount of maternal deaths and children dying younger, because when you're brought into this world, it's the most fragile time in your whole life. Yeah. And if you're not surrounded by the resources to be taken care of, and that goes for the mother as well, there's a higher chance of death. And we are seeing that running rampant right now across Africa, South Asia, all these other places that have lost an incredible amount of USAID funding. And it does, I say that to reiterate your point, a lack of respect for black and brown people, because they are not viewed, their lives are not viewed as important as white people.
No, he doesn't care. I mean, that's what the country was built on. Yeah. So we just kind of have to work through that and kind of navigate these fucking mines and time bombs and shit like that. And I mean, the other part of that too, we're not providing aid across the world, but it's like America first, right? We don't have the shit here.
Yes. Well, and America first, the idea behind USAID is that we are going to lead with this medical care and these resources, so that other countries say to themselves, wow, we love America. Without America, we would not be saving these babies, these children. And for a long time, USAID was really the only strand we had to hang our hat on after what we had done in Afghanistan, really around the world.
Yeah, around the world. Around the world.
You know, you could do a little bit of damage, I guess, if you're also doing some good, but you take the good away and you just do the damage. And, you know, hello, 1941 Germany. That's kind of where we're at in this situation right now.
Yeah.
Great. Great. Elon with that Roman salute. So this legislation, let's talk about what we're losing here. Because we know that Donald Trump today decided to wake up, not go forward with this. So let's talk about what he's decided not to go forward with. So first of all, this legislation was led by Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, Tim Scott of South Carolina, Senate and Republicans, Maxine Waters of California.
Representative.
Representative. Senate and Representatives. It's confusing. Maxine Waters of California and French Hill of Arkansas in the House is poised to become largest housing package signed into law in decades. Among a host of other 50 provisions, it seeks to remove barriers to building homes, lower housing costs, and shift greater control over housing to the local level. So this is not only bipartisan, but very clearly here, a lot of people of color on both sides of the aisle jumping up and saying, yeah, this is probably something to get behind here.
Across the board, everybody's feeling it. I mean, we talk about even the poor whites. They're out here like, shit, we can't afford a home. Like, nobody can afford a fucking home these days. And it's like, yeah, we all want this. Cool.
Right.
These are good things.
So the good things here are that the bill would streamline environmental reviews in an effort to speed up the process of constructing homes. It would also mandate that the Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, offer guidance on how communities could best reform zoning and land use policies to reduce barriers to housing development. I'm going to pause here for a second, because this led EJ and I to go down a rabbit hole about current HUD Secretary Scott Turner, who replaced Ben Carson, who was the head HUD Secretary the first time around under Trump. We have not really heard much about Scott Turner, right?
No.
Right?
No, I looked him up and I was like, oh, he was a cornerback for the NFL. Okay. Perfect person to run this.
Now, when we were looking up Scott Turner, we came across some very upsetting news. Scott Turner of HUD is not doing a great job for the American people, it would seem. And here, we'll bring up this article here. He's touting a new policy where he wants to take funding from Housing First programs, which are programs that are put in place just to really create housing for people that don't have housing.
Yeah.
And he instead wants to convert that money into short-term housing that are more for mental health services and addiction, basically classifying anybody who is unhoused as somebody that has an addiction or a mental health problem, which in some cases is true, but that's not true for everyone. There are stories every day popping up on TikTok about people saying, I'm not going to re-up on my apartment. I'm going to live out of my car.
Yeah.
It's cheaper, and I'm going to take up the quote-unquote nomadic lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and it's like no addiction, no mental illness, just the illness is capitalism.
Yes. And so it is. I say all that to say this. I think it is very good that this bill addresses some of the guardrails that should be in place for HUD, which does seem to be, like every other agency under Trump, being dismantled from the inside and being used recklessly and negatively.
Well, yeah, because if they gut the stuff, they have more money to give back and kick back to Trump for other bullshit, like wars.
Needed wars.
Yeah.
Another provision of the bill would expand the definition of manufactured housing, a change that Torres said would unlock a segment of housing market by making it cheaper and easier to mass produce such homes, which are built entirely in factories before being transported to their sites. I'm sure seen the videos of these, right?
Like they carry it in, like we see the wide load.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pre-made, prefabricated homes, cheaper to make. They're not like, these McMansions where you're picking every little marble countertop or everything.
Yeah.
Cookie cutter, pre-made, affordable homes that are put out for people.
Yeah.
There's concern, obviously, when you're doing cheaper construction about, you want to make sure the roof doesn't collapse.
Yes.
Right. But there's a sense here that this is a program that if we can maybe move past some of the red tape that takes to get these to market, could create a lot more housing quickly.
It would help a lot of people. I mean, I feel like this last week we were talking about everybody losing their jobs.
Yeah.
These days. Yeah, people are feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
Help.
Please back up an 18-wheeler with a house on it, please, for me.
You know what I'm saying? It feels like an HGTV type show. And maybe that's what it'll take. They got to turn it into a fucking TV show where they like...
Oh, wow. If you turned Fixing America's Housing into a reality show, would that get Trump's attention? I think you're onto something.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? You make sure he's like, oh, I get to come in and they sign, like his name's on a signature saying that you passed some shit.
Yeah.
Like he wants to put his name on everything except for this fucking bill.
Except for this.
Like my nephew just got a bunch of honor rolls. Shout out TJ. He got a bunch of honor roll plaques and certificates. Donald Trump signature on it. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why do you care about this fifth grader getting A's and B's?
It's sad that, like, even as I say it out loud, I'm like, good idea. It's sad that it's like the good ideas are the ones that placate Donald Trump like he's a little baby to get where you want to be.
Yeah. I mean, that's what all these CEOs realize. It's like you got to jingle some fucking keys in his face, gold keys. And he's like, okay, you can have a fight in my lawn.
Yes.
Great. What else?
The golden keys. What a great little knickknack at the White House, souvenir shop,
That's the name of the housing show, The Golden Keys.
Oh, the Golden Keys.
It's up there with The Golden Bachelor. You got The Golden Keys.
The Golden Keys.
The Golden Keys.
And, of course, because it's the Golden Keys, only old white people can get the housing,
That's
right?
what I'm going to say. We put it in Florida, the Keys, where all the old whites are. We just did triple key it up.
Yes, we need
Right?
more housing for old white people in the Florida Keys. Bangerang idea.
Right there, right over the Gators.
Other portions of the bill would provide various grants and loans aimed at supporting the development of new housing or the improvement of already existing properties, including rebuilding aging homes, converting vacant buildings into housing. This is stuff I know here in Chicago. You go around Ravenswood, these old warehouse districts. Why aren't we turning this stuff into housing?
I got you one better. Fucking Spirit Halloween shops.
Okay.
Yeah, you turn those into a fucking people can live their old malls. People aren't going to the malls anymore. We can turn those into things.
As a former assistant store manager for a Spirit Halloween, here's the thing about Spirit. Spirit is only there for like 2 months.
Yeah.
Right. Those kinds of locations sure could be turned around. I don't want to say the location I worked at, but it was not a very well maintained building.
Gotcha.
It would require renovation to be turned into housing. I'll say that.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say Spirit Halloween is maybe the like standard I would go for, but anything could be redone.
Yeah.
Anything could be redone and rebuilt into housing for people.
Yeah, put up some more infrastructure, fucking some curtains.
Well, and what's troublesome to me is the idea that like Donald Trump has become obsessed with this idea of making housing prices rise. And we'll bring it a little bit more local here to our backyard of Chicago here and specifically Lakeview. You see housing prices going up because they're building housing that's attracting millionaires in, nice housing, and when a lot of rich people want to live in a little area, all the housing is gonna go up. And because the money's there, you'll see more police in the area. It'll be safer, quote unquote, whatever, sanitized. But what they're not doing is they're not building housing for the people that work in Lakeview to live there. The large amount of people that work in Lakeview do not live in Lakeview. So you're creating these communities that have rising housing, but they don't accommodate the people that are actually making those communities function.
Yeah, and then you have to travel fucking God knows how long just to go work somewhere that you can't afford so you can just help these people who don't give a shit about you probably. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough game, a tough web.
It is.
Yeah.
We'll unravel it. We need a new alderman.
I was going to say, shout out your guy.
Vote Hausman. Get back to me, DSA. So, additionally, this bill would increase certain banks' public welfare investment cap, allowing them to invest more in low-income and affordable housing communities. So, again, to kind of piggyback off of the last thing, which is just rebuilding those communities, banks are now basically their credit limit would be lifted, so they're allowed to give more money to these communities to build housing for people.
Oh yeah, but we know notoriously the banks are always helpful for giving out loans to people.
They love the minorities.
They love us.
They love diversity.
Love them.
They're the D. Give them the D. That's what the banks always say. Give me the D. Give me the D.
The deposit.
Oh yeah, we're on diversity something D. And so beyond seeking to bolster this legislation, beyond seeking to bolster supply, this legislation also aims to help more Americans rent and buy homes. So, for instance, it would create a program aimed at making small dollar mortgages, which help buyers obtain lower cost homes, more accessible, and it would additionally seek to help veterans access potential housing opportunities. What is this magic bill?
To help the veterans. Wow, to help the people who have served this country and put their bodies and mental well-being on the line. Provide them with a home.
Yeah. The sad image of Americans veterans on sidewalks holding signs with dogs that are malnourished has become a hard refrain. And again, on top of the many other positives that this bill offers, veterans.
Yeah.
Veterans.
I don't know. I feel like with the 4th coming up, I don't know. Maybe that'd be nice.
What a great way to celebrate the 4th of July by making sure veterans don't have homes.
Yeah, so they can really be forced to listen to fireworks and get PTSD.
Yeah. So here's my favorite note, though. Mm-hmm. And perhaps the most controversial of the various changes that this bill would make, the bill would also restrict the number of single-family homes large institutional investors can own and require them to report how many such properties they control, with the goal of promoting home ownership opportunities for American families rather than corporations. And this is the big one, right?
Yeah. I mean, looking at you, BlackRock.
Yeah.
We've known, especially like I lived in New York for a little bit, they're buying up every apartment building and home, and now everything costs way too fucking much, and nobody lives anywhere unless you're stupid rich. Yeah, they're just owning these things and like turn them into like their own just little holes.
Right, and that's what I'm saying is like they're sitting on all these properties and they're only converting it into these communities that cater to the ultra wealthy. Mm-hmm. It does not create a community where the people that actually work and make that community run can live.
No.
And it's dystopian.
It's dystopian. You're going to get a bunch of sanitized corporate execs and their children who don't know shit about community.
Right.
And who don't give a damn and don't know the value or cost of things. They're just like, I live here.
It's like a slow rolling disaster because the whiplash effect of what we're going to see in the coming years is going to be very, very negative. I don't want to say full on French Revolution, but you are creating these invisible lines once again, making it more okay to have these invisible lines where some can live here in a safe and elegant way, and others have to take the bus in.
Yeah,
and you know.
Yeah, it's coming. I don't think so. I agree with you there because people are like, this should have been happened. French Revolution. I mean, we should have had a French Revolution when the dollar menu went away at McDonald's.
It's wild to me, and I'm not calling for anything, but it is crazy to me to see like what happens after the Knicks win and how like that's when it's time to burn things down and the police are like, we just got to let it go because everything's out of control. It's in moments like that you see the power of people being able to really impose their will on a community, but they will only do it in moments where they're protected and it's celebratory. You don't see that aggression right now. And again, I'm not calling for anything, but I do worry that we do see this escalation playing out right now where people are becoming more comfortable going to the streets in mass. And you see the teen takeovers here in Chicago. You see other, these car demonstrations with the wheelies, right, where people are coming up and doing these big events in the middle of the night. Where I'm trying to think of the street takeovers, right? Is that what I'm thinking of?
Is that what you're thinking? I don't.
Where they, you know what they're
like doing donuts.
They're
in the
doing
middle
donuts,
of the street
but you
and
see
shit,
the big crowds that are, and everyone knows what they're doing is wrong and illegal, but they don't give a shit, right?
We're outside.
Right now, it is these kind of innocuous distractions where people are testing those limits. I worry about what's to come. And on that, the Time magazine spoke to experts who say the vast majority of provisions in this bill are going to be felt more in the long term, with the exception of a few provisions such as the manufactured housing, which is literally 18-wheelers coming in, setting up houses. That could very quickly. The rest of it is going to take more time to kind of.
But people need that. We need that little bit of hope.
Well, we have a Batman villain as a president, and unfortunately he and again, I try not to put everything on Donald Trump anymore because he's there to take the heat for a bunch of bad people.
Yeah.
It's Russ Vought. It's the people behind Project 2024, the Heritage 2025, the Heritage Foundation. It's all of these people around Donald Trump that are saying the most important thing right now is to keep power, because if we lose power, we're not going to be able to do all these other horrible, evil things. And so, screw the people, screw their housing. We need to do what we can to get the SAVE Act passed so we can control the ballot boxes.
Yeah, I was just telling you earlier. What did he say last week? He was like, if we don't pass this, I will be the last Republican president.
Yeah, and he knows it. And look, they're already so unpopular. I think Donald Trump's attitude is, why not be a little bit more unpopular? What's it matter?
Yeah, I'm already in shit. I'm going to take a shit.
Fun. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in today to this episode of Guerrilla Press. We will be back. What is it, two? Oh, I was looking into the wrong camera. Sorry. I'm still getting used to producer hand signals. Thank you all very much for tuning in to Guerrilla Press. We'll be back here all week. We got some big stuff here on the horizon. If you like what we do, subscribe. We have interviews with Kat Abba-Ghazaleh, Demi Palachek, and many more. Illinois State Senator Mike Simmons is going to drop this Friday on our YouTube channel. So come on back. Thank you for support, and we will talk to you soon. Goodbye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Mwah.